Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at NECA's Alien vs. Predator Mad Predator figure. This is from, I think it's an arcade fighting game. I never played it, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. That's what it looks like on everything I saw. Anyway, it's a batch of figures that are very stylized looking, very unique looking. I personally absolutely love it. And there's some pretty good stuff to talk about for these guys. There's a couple things that aren't so great, but pretty much this line is what you would expect it to be. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. And this guy stands just about 8¼ inches, which makes him pretty close to 21 centimeters. And we have seen maybe all of these parts before. I think there's nothing new here. So that's kind of why I said that it's what you would expect. It's a whole lot of repainting. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Repainting is okay when it's okay. As far as the overall aesthetic, I mean, it looks like what you would expect it to look like. We do still have the fishnet. It's just not painted like the fishnet, so I don't know how accurate that is to the original source material. I'm guessing they were just pixelated sprites, and so who knows. So I'm not going to fault it too much. But what you do have is some really nice painting. There's a ton of shading on this cool light blue color. Then we have the dark blue shading on it, and it looks really nice. Stands out on the shelf wonderfully, really nice contrast there. We have a lot of like completely saturated, opaque, flat colors too, which is nice. And it doesn't seem like it would be saturated, but they did a good job with the armor. They did a very nice job delineating between the different colors, and it stands out very nicely. I like that a whole bunch. The blades are stark white. That's awesome. I love that. The fingernails are white. The little studs and things are white. The eyes are just solid white dots, which look great. The only thing I think might have looked cooler is if they did the teeth, but I think it's fine the way it is too. I don't know, maybe it's accurate, maybe it's not, I can't really say. But all in all, it's a really aesthetically pleasing figure, so I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, only because the fishnets do throw it off, and they could have had a lot cleaner paint on the predlocks back here, so it could have been a little cleaner, but all in all, it's a very aesthetically pleasing figure. Now, as far as accessories go, we can count the backpack if you really want to, but it's going to be connected to his body, so kind of not so much an accessory. But we do have a face hugger and a chest burster, which are the same that we've had bunches of times before, only with release-specific paint on it, and they look pretty cool. They're fine. I don't know, did this guy fight using these as weapons? What's the deal here? If anybody can enlighten me, I'd love to hear it. But yeah, we do get those, and that's it for accessories. So if you like those, cool. If you don't, then it's not cool. So I'm gonna say it's probably what he's supposed to have. It seems that's the case. So I'm gonna give him a 7 out of 10, I guess. I don't think he needed more, but maybe some fist hands or something would have been cool. So yeah, it could have been better, but 7 out of 10 is appropriate. Now for the articulation. This is going to be kind of a problem because, as you can tell, we've seen this all before, and it's been a problem in the past. We have the same tuber back here on the arm and the same tuber up here on the chest. That's going to kill the articulation for this arm. We've seen that these break very easily, so be very careful for that. Let's go ahead and start with the blaster, or I guess it's a plasma caster technically. We have a little tiny hinge there and then a ball peg at the top, although if you're not very careful, using this ball peg will break the hinge, so try to hold the upright and then pose the top piece, otherwise you're going to break that hinge. The head has a really nice single ball peg. The dreadlocks do get in the way of the blaster though, or the backpack, so you're going to be somewhat limited, but as you can see, you can pose the head pretty well. It's very nice, and with this big dynamic face, it looks cool when you pose it, so I like that. The head's very nicely done. For the arm, you just get a ball hinge on this side. It's very risky to screw with, so you can check any number of my other Predator reviews. We've seen this at least a few times, and so not any number, about a few times. You can check any of those to see how dangerous this can be, but you do get some range out of it. The shoulder pad is connected to the arm, and it's okay. Just, you can see you have almost no play with these tubers. And then if you're going to bend this elbow, you better make sure that this is above the joint. If it gets stuck behind the joint as you bend it, it is torn. That is not a safe thing. It looks cool, don't get me wrong, but just be very careful. So we'll go ahead and go through the range on this side. Using the ball hinge, it doesn't really like to move that much going horizontally, so very limited. Then we do get our bicep swivel. You can rotate around, of course. Double jointed elbows do work very nicely. That's fine. Each gauntlet can rotate. This gauntlet has the extending blades, so I like that a whole bunch. And then of course for the rest we have a peg and a hinge, so that's fine. It's the same on both sides, except we don't have blades, we have a computer over here. Let's see if we can get the computer open. We can, but it has a 0 paint on the inside, so that is definitely a bummer. Not even the black screens are black, so that kind of sucks. And it feels like it's gonna break. It doesn't open smoothly or close smoothly, so be extra cautious there. For the torso, upper torso, I haven't done anything to this to try to make it work better, but it is very limited. I think it's a double ball peg technically, but you are gonna have to do some serious heating to make it do anything other than mostly just rotation. Waist twist is a waist twist. The hips, these guys are flexible, so you can get the hips out pretty much almost all the way. So plenty of range going out to the side, going forward and back. Let's see, the crotch is flexible as well, so that's good. Yeah, pretty good range, not too bad. How about that issue with the legs? Definitely loose going forward and back. They don't catch each other as much, but they're definitely loose going forward and back, as is standard for the Predators. The day they fix that is the day they have a darn near perfect figure, so hopefully they do that soon. Thigh swivels work fine, double jointed knees are perfectly fine, and then ball pegs for the ankles, which are minimal. So are they like the best figures in the world? Well, no. I mean, it's the same Predators we've gotten before, just with new paint. So if you like the way they look, you're gonna like the way they look. But as far as articulation goes, it's what we've seen before, and it really only gets like, I'm gonna say 7 because technically it's all there. You're just gonna have to be really careful with some things on the arms. So the articulation's not impressive at this point, but it's good enough. And as I mentioned, the aesthetics are fantabulous if this is up your alley. It's up my alley. It's right up my alley. So very, very nice looking figure. I guess for an overall rating, I'm gonna give him an 8 out of 10. Only because it's almost all reused, if not completely reused parts. And so we still have some of those drawbacks, but the aesthetics are great, so I think that's going to be the selling point for most people, and I can definitely support that. It is gorgeous to look at. If there's one thing NECA does, it's make gorgeous figures to look at, I guess. I don't know. I suppose that's true. I didn't plan that sentence very well, but what the heck, you get the idea. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. I do appreciate that. And if you didn't enjoy the video, well, that's unfortunate, but you watched it, so thank you for that. And if you haven't subscribed, I do have new videos out just about every single day, and we've got thousands of other videos on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.